Hi, third graders and third grade families. Miss Whitford here, and I am going to just give a little review and just a little instruction about how to partition a fraction number line. Oh, look, my cat is making a little appearance, and then he decided, never mind. That's Murray. He's a little crazy. Okay, so the thing that's a little bit tricky about fraction number lines, so if you look at it and you see the different notches, the number of notches, like this is a notch, this is a notch, this is a notch, that is not going to be the number that the fraction line is broken up into. So let me show you a strategy to help partition the fraction number line. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, if you see this, it is probably the number lines are probably going to be where you see it's going to be 0 over here and 1 over here. This lets you know that this whole thing is one whole. If you were to see it where there was a big 1 over here and a big 2 over here, that means the fraction line is broken up into two wholes, not a whole like a whole thing. Okay, so because I put the 0 on this side and the 1 on this side, this fraction line is broken up into one whole thing. All right, so here's a strategy that I found has worked. So we've used a highlighter, and you take your highlighter and you start at the 0 and you go all the way until you get to that notch, and then you stop. Okay? And put your highlighter back down where you stopped, or after where you stopped, and then keep going until the next notch and stop. Okay. So then you want to, and you can actually do this before if you want to, put your fraction lines down. So that way you're ready to add to what, you're ready to write your fractions. Okay, so think about how many highlighter lines you made. Okay, we made 1, 2 highlighter lines. All right, that lets me know that this fraction line is broken up into 2 equal pieces. So that means the denominator is going to be 2 for all of these, because this whole fraction line is broken up into 2 equal pieces. Okay, so then you want to figure out what's going to be in the numerator. Well, over here, we have not even started the fraction number line yet, so that means that 0 is going to be in the numerator here. So when you start a fraction number line, it actually is going to start with 0. So it's 0 halves. Okay. I would suggest then taking your pencil and then doing a jump to the first line, and think to yourself, how many jumps did I make? I made 1 jump, so 1 is going to be in the numerator. Hopefully you can see that, so 1, okay? Then I'm going to go here and make another jump. How many jumps have I made now? I've made 2 jumps, so 2 is going to go in the numerator. So if you look at this fraction line, it's broken up into halves. When I get to here, it's like I've traveled 1/2 of the way. When I get to here, I've traveled 2/2 of the way, or the whole thing. One thing we also talked about in class is that if the numerator and the denominator are the same, it means that it is equivalent to 1 whole. So 2/2 are equivalent to 1 whole. Okay, I'm going to show you one more. I'm actually going to go down to this one, just to give it a little bit more room. I'm going to start it with 0 over here, and let me go down a little bit so you can see, and a 1 over here, okay? And then I can even get my fraction lines ready now, so that way I'm ready to include them. Okay, and then, and also if you just like kind of look back and think about how many parts is it broken up into, like that's probably the easiest way to look at it. But I'm going to use my highlighter again just to kind of make sure that you get a good visual. Okay, so I'm going to see how many different parts is it broken up into. So I'm going to start at the 0, go to the first notch. That's 1. Okay, go to the next notch. That's 2. Go to the next notch. I'm at 3 and 4. And if I look over here, look, it's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So that means my denominator is going to be 4. A way that I can say that is that it's broken up into fourths. Okay, to figure out what is going to be in the numerator, I start at the 0. So this is going to be 0/4 because I haven't even made any jumps yet. I'm going to start at the numerator and I'm going to make 1 jump that means this is going to be 1/4. So it's like I'm 1/4 of the way to the end of the number line. I'm going to make another jump. Now I am 2/4 of the way to the end of the number line. Now I also want to draw your attention really quickly. Look at what is the same as 2/4. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. When we get to equivalent fractions, that's going to be huge. Okay, continuing on, I'm going to make another jump. Now I am 3/4 of the way there. And I make my last jump and I am 4/4 of the way there, or I made it through one whole number line. A way that you can check yourself also is if you're filling this in and you get to the one that's equivalent to 1/2 and the numerator and the denominator don't match, that means you maybe made a mistake somewhere. So like if I started here and I did 1/4 and I said 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and this was 4/4, I would know that's not correct because 1/2 and 4/4 have to be equivalent to each other. That has to be the same one. Okay. So that is how you partition a number line, or that's how you label a partitioned number line with a fraction number line. Make sure that you count the number of empty spaces, how many it's broken up into, that's going to be the denominator, and then every jump, that is going to tell you how far you've gone down the number line and what's going to be in the numerator. The only other thing I'm going to show you is, I think I'm going to go down here, is if you are given a blank line and you want to partition it on your own. Okay, so if you have just a blank line like this, okay, and this is one thing we've done in class, and I told the kids to put, all right, we're going to 0 over here and a 1 over here. The easiest way to partition, I'll show you how to partition different ways. So if you want to partition it into halves, you just draw a notch down the center. And if you look, it's broken up into 1, 2 equal pieces, which means that it's broken up into halves. Then if I want to break it up into fourths, I'm really going to be breaking up each half into 2 equal pieces. So I'm going to put a line down the middle like that. You can also think of it, I'm just going to show you a little extra visual, a little bonus. If you think about a circle, if you take the circle and you break it into half, just like we did there, and then if you take each half and break that in half, then it's going to be broken into fourths. So if you look up here, this is now broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. And then if I want to break this one into eighths, then I need to break each fourth in half. I know that's a lot of thinking. So line, 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 line. Very similar to how I do it if I was doing it like a pizza. I would break each fourth in half. Not drawn to scale, but just imagine each of these is going to be like equal size. And now it's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal pieces. If you look up here, it's broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal pieces. And that is how you would partition a completely blank number line. I hope this has helped. We are going to do plenty more practice with fractions on a number line.